Hey guys, welcome back to Neely by Nature. My name is Neely. If you are new to this channel, on this channel we talk about spirituality, law of attraction, social issues, international news, self-development, self-actualization, and so much more. So if any of those topics interest you, please remember to hit the subscribe button and support your girl. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and comment below. I love hearing from you guys. I am currently in Costa Rica, and if you haven't seen some of my previous videos, I sold my designer things and, kind of took my savings and decided I wanted to travel abroad for a year or so. And my first stop on this journey was here in Costa Rica to kind of go on a spiritual journey and find some healing and therapy for myself. And I'm going to be heading to a retreat in the next week or so. But I'm going to be posting a video at the end of the week about my first week here in Costa Rica and update you guys about how it's going. But this video is a lot shorter. I just wanted to talk about kind of about how everyone wants to be a landlord, how we all want to be a landlord. We all want to buy land and sell it and rent it out and live off that. And I kind of thought that this was just something that was happening in the US, where I would ask somebody about their goals and they would tell me like, oh, my goal is to buy a couple properties, rent it out, and just chill. But then I came here in Costa Rica and I realized that's what everyone here is doing. But what's interesting is that the people who have bought land and are renting it or Airbnb-ing it, they're mostly foreigners. So it's mostly people from the US, from Europe, who are buying a property here in Costa Rica and renting it out and Airbnb-ing it and making like a side cash. So I was just thinking about this, and I had two thoughts. My first thought was, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice, it seems, when we are all looking for security and safety, and we're not using our imagination to kind of build the abundant life that we want to live, because we're so worried about money and we're so worried about not having money that we kind of resort to becoming a landlord and buying a property and renting it. And this is inevitably going to create new issues in the future, right? Where the next generation won't have the opportunity to buy property because it'll be too expensive, and because everyone's buying up property, especially, the ultra rich, especially the hedge funds that are buying up all this property. And, they keep saying that the future of the world is a renter's market, which is kind of scary. And I thought about this, and it's like, is it possible for us to attract wealth and abundance into our lives while simultaneously using our creativity to be resourceful to this world, to find our contribution, to find our purpose? And is it possible to do two things at once, right? And I think that the majority of the world is in survival mode, and we're constantly looking to find ways to make more money. Even the Airbnb that I'm staying in, actually so beautiful here. The woman who owns this Airbnb, she's actually a woman from Florida, and I was talking to a guy who works here as in maintenance, and he was saying that he has 9 rental properties here, and he's from the US, and he came here during the 2009 financial crisis in the US, and he moved here and he bought up properties, and he rents it out, and he gets to surf all day. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with being a landlord. I even consider this for myself, because this is a wonderful way to create generational wealth, and it's something that we can pass down to our children. There's only a limited amount of land, so buying up property, it's a smart decision, and I'm not judging anyone by no means. I have family that owns land and rents it out, and again, it's something that I thought about for myself. But I guess I didn't have the realization that this is something that's happening worldwide, where people are buying up property and building, buying up land and then building property and houses and renting it out to others. And I just feel like there's so many issues that's going to come from that, where, people won't be able to buy in the future because everything has been purchased, or the fact that we're not utilizing our imagination to create and to create abundance in our lives. We're kind of going into like this default survival mode that everyone's on, right? Everyone wants to be a landlord. And there's something like kind of sad about that, because I think that human beings are incredibly intelligent, and our superpower is our imagination. And when we're all going into finding safety and security, we're not tapping into our creativity. We're not tapping into our power to make something substantial here, to use our individual, our authenticity to create something that matters and that can change the world here, or that can make a difference. We're just all looking for safety and security. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just found it pretty interesting that, everyone today wants to be a landlord. And I wonder if, are we able to do two things at once? Are there other ways for us to create abundance and wealth and prosperity in our lives versus just buying property and renting it out? I think every single person I know, especially right now in the US, people are frantically buying property, and especially hedge funds. They're buying up huge land and building apartment buildings, and people won't have any choice but to rent. And I think those are things that are kind of scary, because we should all have the means to have the rights to our land. We should all have the power to own property. But, when people are buying up more than what they need, I can see that becoming an issue, right? Like, if you have 2, 3, 4 properties, okay, that's fine. But when you have 9 properties, when you have, you have more than enough, it's almost like, are you taking more than what you need? And, this is not to say that this is not something me judging everyday people, because everyday people are surviving. I'm talking about, the ultra rich. I'm talking about, these hedge funds that are buying up more than what they need and renting out small apartments for, 2, 3 times what they're actually worth. And people have no choice, especially young people. They're not having any choice but to pay that rental price. I think right now in the US, especially in New York, the cost of rent has just skyrocketed, and it's going to continue to skyrocket. So these are just thoughts that I had when I got here, because I didn't realize just how much of an impact foreigners from the US and Europe have in places like Costa Rica and South America, where this has become an opportunity for people to kind of get away from the rat race that happens in the US and come here and kind of build a better life for themselves. But again, I can see there being lots of issues coming out of this, right? Like, is this also a form of modern day colonization, where foreigners from the US and Europe are just buying up property in Costa Rica and what's going to happen to the natives of this land. Even just being here in Costa Rica and Santa Teresa, the food here is as expensive as the US, and I was shocked. I was so shocked because I expected the food to be significantly cheaper here, right? Like, Costa Rica doesn't have they're not like a very wealthy country, so I was shocked to see that here, like, one single mango cost almost $5. So I was and it's because of the tourism here, right? And a lot of foreigners come here and they live here. So again, everything kind of has a cause and effect. But I guess I wanted to make this video because I think there is something to be said about the goal for people to just be a landlord, to buy property and rent it out, and that be their goal in life. Because every one of us are seeking safety and security, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we are all having to participate in a really fucked up system where we feel like we have no choice but to seek security and safety. So it's like, I'm not judging anyone who are becoming landlords, because again, like I said, this is something that I think that I would probably consider in the future. But I think it's, again, a disservice to ourselves when we're only viewing becoming a landlord as the only opportunity for ourselves, because again, human beings are so incredibly intelligent, and our imagination is where all of our power lies. And it's important that we access that power, especially during a time like now, right, where we have a pandemic happening and climate change is really taking its toll in the most vulnerable and impoverished areas around the world. It's important that we access that power to find ways that we can better the world, and not just for us, but for the people around us. Anyways, I would love to know what you guys thought about this video. You know, do you guys feel the same way, where you think that everyone's just trying to become a landlord and that's everyone's goals? Let me know your thoughts. Do you see anything wrong with that? Do you think that do you foresee this becoming an issue, especially for the next generation who's going to have to struggle to purchase land? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys very soon. I'm going to be posting a video by the end of the week or next week of my first week here, so stay tuned for that. I will see you guys soon. Bye.